Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Raj Gavrola, all about life. And I started an hour earlier, so I apologize for some of those who think this is starting at 3:30. The reason is I have an unexpected appointment that I need to make today at 4 o'clock. But for those who are looking for this at 3:30, you can obviously see that it's here now and you can access it online in our group. And so this week we're continuing with the 7 strategies of solving a performance gap. And we went through strategies 1 and 2, and now we're on the 3rd strategy, and apply the learning. And in all about life, tell me if this isn't true for you. Can you look back, if you took your life in stages, take it in 5-year stages or increments or 10-year increments, and just look back and reflect on it. And now that you know what you know, you experience what you experience, and you have, let's say, the 2020 vision, hindsight's 2020. What comes to your mind? I've done this exercise, and here are some things that come to my mind, and you tell me does this resonate with you. For the most part, I wouldn't change anything, just because I think that, that's life. Life is like that. It's continuous. It's one of those things that you go through and you apply the learning, whatever that learning is and however that learning is. Now, here's the thing that I've learned from those experiences or those years, those increments of 5 years or 10 years. And this is what I want to talk with you today about applying the learning. One is, I remember just things to where while I was doing it and experiencing it, it was something that I didn't really grasp why I was doing some of the things that I would do. I would do it just because it was part of school, part of living, part of life. And so today, I think I'm a little better at grasping that. I'm a lot better at that and really applying the learning. And when I say applying the learning, it's not just that I'm doing whatever I'm supposed to do. I did that before. That's not really what I mean. When I say apply the learning, I'm saying to put my thinking, my feeling, my seeing, my doing into that so that it sort of becomes customized to me. So that why, and then putting my input into it is makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more valuable and useful and effective for me. And so that's the biggest area that I look back and see. The other thing is I can look back and I can see where during what I was doing, I sometimes, most of the times not, but sometimes wanted to go through it faster than I should have. There's a little bit of a process involved that does take some time. However, I think I wanted to enjoy that process more, and really see how it applies to me and how I could build upon that instead of just looking for the end result. Now, of course, the end result is very, very important, but to realize that by doing this and by working through that process, I can get to the end result. And then for the things that I was really good in, to realize that, or excellent in, to realize that I could go further. And then the things that maybe I was challenged with or could have even struggled with some, to realize that if I stuck with it and I got the right support or the right help, asked the right question, uh, sort of educated myself in addition to what was being taught to me. And that's probably that why factor, that I could have gone a little further. Of course, today I do all of those things, and in my work and in helping clients, I do the same thing. So that's a little bit of what this exercise will do. And I can give you some examples. Let's start with just breakthrough examples. Breakthroughs are that, fortunately, there were a lot of areas that I was talented in. So a lot of things came easy for me. I mean, I remember doing everything from like elementary school, just making 100 on a math multiplication test, and it just seemed like it wasn't that challenging for me. I could do that. Of course, I realized that not only did I have that talent, but I obviously learned, and the teacher had something to do with me learning it and applying that learning. Now, here was one that stuck with me for a while that I really didn't understand the why. I used to, I remember in 5th grade, they taught us how to hold, although this isn't one, they taught us how to hold a pencil. And it was something like this, where you put this finger here, this finger like it is, and then this finger sort of underneath it to support it. And you rewrote. And I remember going even in college, and I specifically remember telling one of my classmates in 5th grade, this feels weird. And it does. But I never knew why. Okay, we were holding it this way and writing this way. But once I got into like high school and college, when I would take notes, I would hold it to where I was resting the pencil on my finger here. And when I rested the pencil on my finger like this, what was I doing? Well, when I wrote, I was creating this little groove here on my finger. I was creating like a little callus on my finger. And I remember I used to be like, if I had to do like quite a bit of writing, like in college or something. So I always remember that. And so now I actually do write like I'm supposed to write, and I hold it this way. So that's just an example, because I just didn't know why, besides the fact that it felt weird and awkward. But no one told me that, well, because you won't create a callus on your finger. So that's just an example. And I can have examples like that all the way through, every 5 or 10 years. There's another one where, if you just look at relationships, those are huge. When I was younger, I would just basically do what my parents told me to do. Never really got into any kind of trouble, just well-mannered, good kid. But the thing that I didn't do that I wish I had done more is I never really like had to, or it wasn't part of my constitution to debate for something or ask for something or create like something to be done. I mean, basically, I knew I was going to school. I went to school. I did good in school or did well, and I'd come home, and I knew then that I had time to go play some, so I'd go outside and play. And so all that's like a regular kid, right? And I mean, I did like ask to play soccer, or I asked to go play tennis, or join a soccer team, stuff like that. But there are certain things where like I didn't take initiatives amongst everyone. sort of like a group effort type thing to say we can go and let's, how about doing it this way, or how about doing this, and sort of coming together. I was more on my own in that aspect. But I mean, I played with my friends, I, did things with my family. That's not what I'm trying to point out. What I'm trying to point out is doing something greater together. And of course, my family and friends, they probably say, you're looking into this too much. We did do stuff. Yeah, we did. But, what was it that in those relationships, where I was more the quiet kid then, and didn't really interact that much with the ability. I could make a friend. Wasn't a problem, but the ability to like grow or build a relationship, didn't really know what that concept was. I just knew that I liked people and people liked me, and some people were just closer, or we were just friends, and that's just sort of the way I looked at it. But now in business and in just everything, I realize the value of just being able to build a relationship. So those are some of the areas. Another area in application of the learning is just nutrition. I didn't think about it. I just never realized that nutrition could play such a big role in the person you are, who you are, what you can do. And I remember, this is still back in elementary school, going over the 4 food groups. And for the most part, I was consistent, but just think about it. I was going through a leadership program, and somebody said, and these kids don't have 4 servings or 3 servings of fruit a day. And everybody gasped, like, okay, because we were talking about community and kids in school. And I looked at myself in reality, and I was thinking, Raj, you don't eat 3 or 4 servings of fruit a day. And I'm just thinking, and everyone gasped. So I said to myself, I'm eating 4 servings of fruit a day, 4 servings of vegetables a day. And ever since I started doing that, and of course I drank enough water, that wasn't a problem. My constitution, my just sort of health and everything was just a little better, just a little better, a little better. And then over time, it became a little better. And so, as you all know, I'm athletic, and it really did make a difference in my athletics. It did. That, and then just really realizing that athletically, I've always been talented, but that I could do better, or I could go further. But the key for me was how to prevent injuries. And that's what I never knew, nor did anybody ever teach me how to do that. They just, basically gave me I learned the basics of, what to do and things like that, and just tried to stay away from injuries. But they didn't teach me how to do injury prevention. So that's another aspect of apply the learning. A lot of things look great and everything, but how can you make it to where you're making a breakthrough, a performance improvement? And how can you do it in a way that it's going to strengthen you, and that it won't cause injury or won't have a risk associated with it? And how can you avoid those risks with contingencies or with certain exercises? Like today, you all know that I go to an exercise functional physiology trainer. So that's essential for me to prevent myself from injury, and also to basically give my body the rest and the active rest that it needs, so that after I do my performance, after I do my athletic endeavors, and also while I'm at work, etc., I'm a stronger, I'm a more healthy, stronger, vibrant me. So that's what I have for you about application of learning. So think about that and take a look at where you are with your life, And if something here resonates with you, you can contact me at 864-569-2315 or email me at raj@rajgavrola.com. Now, the zone effect. The zone effect is when you're making a performance breakthrough, a performance improvement. You are doing something better. It feels as if, or it's in slow motion to you. It feels effortless, and time's not a deterrent factor. And so the zone moment is I made a breakthrough in how long I can hold a plank. A plank is when you're doing push-ups, you go down. Well, in a plank, you do not go down. You just hold in the upward position. And so for the longest, not the longest time, but I have a breakthrough process. And because of some injuries that I've been rehabilitating, about the longest I could do one was like maybe a little over a minute. And before that, it was less than that. But since I've been doing them, I've increased my strength in my core. My shoulders have gotten stronger. And this isn't like lifting a whole bunch of weights. I'm a very big proponent of natural body weight exercises. And so over time, what that did is it obviously strengthened my glutes, my core, my pecs, and my shoulders and my wrists. And by doing that, I exceeded over 2 minutes. So I'm really excited about that. And there was a bonus to that. The bonus is if you watch my video of the zone effect either last week or the week before, it also helped me or supported me in being able to do push-ups because I set a record. I set a record in the number of push-ups that I do or can do. So all of that was a breakthrough. So that was really, really exciting to me. I hope you have a meaningful trigger for this evening. I know that I do. This evening is evening that I spend some time with my family and just relax some. It seems that I've been, as usual, I mean, it's not something that it's not out of routine for me, but sometimes it's good to dial back and just spend time with people that you want to spend more time with. So that's what I have for you. Coming up in just a few minutes, I will be talking about the application of learning or apply the learning in experiencing intelligent breakthroughs in your sports performance and life.